For a cable crunch, it's really important that we keep our hips stacked over our knees. The biggest thing that I see people get wrong is they sink their hips back or forward as they crunch through this movement. We really want to keep those hips nice and stable, stacked right over those knees with very minimal movement. This movement is entirely spinal flexion, aka spinal bendings. We also are not using this as an arm movement. We're not pulling our arms. Our arms are going to stay right next to our head the entire time. And then here you can see my spine is beginning to bend or curve or flexion. As we go down and as we go up, we get that full curvature and extension as well. Again, my arms are staying steady at the same spot throughout the entire time. Now, this is a movement where using a pad can be really nice and handy. You can use a pad, whatever you want. You can use a sweatshirt balled up under your knees. That will make it more comfortable. So why not get comfortable? Another thing to consider is it's a lot easier to do this movement with 2D handles than that rope attachment. Highly suggest swapping that out. It's going to save your pinkies, especially because for this movement, one of the biggest things I see people get wrong, besides the hips, and really the hips being moved backwards, is because people are doing this incorrectly. You need to load quite a bit. I would suggest just start off with 50 at the very minimum, but most likely as you get stronger, you're going to need way more. If you go too light, your hips will push backward. So make sure that you're going heavy enough if you're having a hard time stabilizing those hips. Now again, looking at this movement, we are actually bending and extending, looking to get that flexion or that curve in our spine. So going from a very curved position up top and then curved at the bottom. Really thinking about almost bringing your nose to your knees is a good way to think about this movement here. Again, most likely you're going too light more than too heavy if you're struggling with this movement. If we need a little help teaching our body what this feels like, a little hack we can do is use a foam roller behind our knees. It actually doesn't need to be like locked in there super heavy, but just having something there can help keep your hips forward and actually help you recognize if your hips are pushing backward, because it can be hard to tell sometimes, especially when you're first learning this movement or learning spinal flexion in general. Another variation that you can use is actually facing away from the cable stack while doing this movement, using that bar of that cable machine to like press into your butt to prevent you from pushing your hips backwards. Now, this can be a little awkward because obviously you kind of have to straddle the machine and you have to push your butt crack into the machine. But if you like it and it works for you, great. Again, working to get that spinal flexion, and then you're going to be coming back up all the way. Again, we're not pulling this down with our arms. This is not an arm movement. Our arms stay pretty much at that like 90-degree bend with our hands right near the top of our head or our ears the entire time, then getting that spinal flexion. Now there I was showing you with the rope, but honestly, again, the rope is never my first choice. I will always choose 2D handles in doing any type of cable crunch movement because it is so much more comfortable on your arms. And again, setup here looks the exact same, just with that different attachment here. Again, really looking to get that nice spinal curvature at the bottom, aka spinal flexion, and then coming all the way back up. And then one final note, obviously I've been using regular D handles, but if your gym does have the longer D handles, aka just the extended version, that can feel really nice and give you a little bit more range of motion. I would say try out both and see what you like better. It's the exact same setup, exact same execution. Literally the handles are just a little longer, so sometimes that can feel more comfortable for you.